welcome to Let Glory Shine. I am your host, Martha Glory Kartaoui, and I'm so happy to be here and so excited about doing this episode number one. This has been a dream of mine for a long time that I was either going to do some kind of show or a podcast, and God has a way of making these things come faster than you anticipate. And so when I had the opportunity to jump on board with Prospera TV, I said, you need to pray about it. And I remember having that conversation with Elena Rodriguez, who's the president of this network. And I said, I'm going to pray about it. I've been offered a TV show before, and it just hasn't been aligned with what my vision and mission is. And so a couple of days later, I reached out to her and I said, I'm all in, because I got that clear notification, or that clear knowing from God that says it's time to do this. It's time to take this next step. And I've learned to listen to that calling. I've learned to listen to that intuition, that gut that says when I'm really needing to know an answer to something, I've learned to hear what the Holy Spirit is trying to tell me. So I'm really, really excited about being here, and excited to be able to bring stories of other battle angels to this channel, and to be able to also not only just share their stories, but also to share their testimonies, to share how they've overcome, how we have found resources, how we use resources, the things that are important to them now about living their life. So these are everyday people that are overcoming trauma, overcoming pain, overcoming things that have happened to them in their life, and stepping into the best parts of their life. And at the same time, it's about sharing resources, about understanding that we're all in this together. And when we learn something, we want to share it. We want to enlighten the next person. So today, I just want to share a little bit about my testimony so that you get to know me a little bit. And then I hope that you will subscribe, and you will come back to this channel every Thursday to watch another episode of Let Glory Shine, The Power Within Ascends. First of all, what is Let Glory Shine? Where does Let Glory Shine come from? So I don't really know. So my middle name is Glory, and several years ago, I was told, I was having a conversation with somebody, and I really understood the power of the word glory when it came to understanding who God is, and who God is in my life, and who God says I am. I really understood the gravity, the depth, the importance of the word glory. And I didn't get my name like a normal person. I actually was not named by my parents. I was named by the cult leader of the cult that I was born and raised in for the first 26 years of my life. And so when I thought about my name for many years, I didn't like my name. I didn't resonate with who Martha Glory was. I didn't understand, who Martha Glory was, and I didn't have any kind of attachment to the name. But as I've gone on this healing journey over this last 14 years, and really have started to find myself and to step into who I am, who God says I am, and have really started to embrace all of that, I've realized that my name is powerful. And what the enemy may have meant for evil, God turns to good. And so although I was named by the cult leader, he had no idea the power and the powerful name that he was giving me when he named me Martha Glory. And so Glory has become one of these, almost like a brand, an identification of who I am and who God says I am. And my first book that I published 1 year ago this month, um, it's called Glory, Going All In, and I'm really proud of that. But it was the the radiance that came from the cover of that book and comes from knowing who you are and knowing who God says you are. It's like a sunshine. It's like that light within. That's why it says the rest of the tag of the show is called the power uh, within a sense, right? Because the power is all already in here, and we just have to tap into it. And sometimes we have to un or dust off, or reclaim or rediscover, but the power is already in here, and we have to tap into it. So that's a little story of how I got my name and why glory is so important to me. And so Let Glory Shine actually came a couple of years ago. I just started saying it. And when my book was getting ready to come out and we were looking to create a landing page for my book, I bought the domain Let Glory Shine. And I had started signing my emails with it, never anticipating that it would be someday the name of a TV show. So here we are. And then in December of last year, I celebrated my 20th year of my escape from the dangerous religious cult that I had been born and raised into. And I just celebrated my 20th year. And I got a tattoo that says Let Glory Shine. So it's all like full circle now. And it's really, really exciting. And I'm really, again, really proud of how far I've come. But that's how I got the name and where the name came from and why it's so important to me. So now I see glory in everybody because I see that as kind of like our own healing modality. Where do we reclaim our glory? Because again, it's all within us. We just have to tap into it. We have to reclaim it, redefine it, rediscover it. But it's in there for all of us. So like what's your going all in moment, or what is your glory, let glory shine moment? Those are all things that feel very important to me when I get to talk to guests on this show, because we all have one of those. If we've done any amount of healing, we have one of those. Like, what was the turning point for you? What was the point where we said, I'm going all in. I'm going to reclaim what was lost, or I'm going to heal from what happened to me, and I'm no longer going to let it define me. So all of those things are real questions, and I am excited to get to ask those of guests in the following episodes. But for the last about 15 minutes that we have today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So I was born and raised in Grand Meadow, Minnesota, and I was raised on a small little farm, 1,100 square foot farmhouse. My dad had his shop in the backyard or the side yard, and we had lots of yard, and we had cornfields surrounding all sides of us, except for every other year there would be soybeans. But so we lived in this little small farm town, and I have 9 brothers and sisters. I am number 4, and we that's where I was born and raised for the first 12 years of my life. But that sounds all well and good, and I loved being on that little farm, and I have so many amazing memories of being on that farm. But we didn't grow up normally. But then what is normal these days? There's no real measuring tool for normal, but I did not grow up normally. I was born into this religious cult. My parents had joined the group a few years before I was born. So I was born within the cult. So that's hence why I was named by the cult leader and not by my parents. So the first several years of my life, I don't have much memories of, but the memories that I do have start around 7, when I was Cult Man took an interest in me. So Cult Man, I call him Cult Man, but he's the leader of the cult, and it's still going on. My sister, my oldest sister, is still part of it. I hope one day that it dissolves or that it is no longer, but right now he still is running it, and my sister is still there. Until then, I'm just going to keep praying and hope she knows that we love her, we miss her, and that she's welcome back at any time. And we would open our arms, our hearts, and our homes to her if she was ever ready to come back home. So, but that's a side note. So yeah, Cult Man started taking an interest in me, and then that's a great place to be, you feel like, but it's also not a great place to be. Over the next many years of my life, it became a torturous relationship. He beat me with unimaginable things like cattle prods and 2x4s, metal switches, extension cords, you name it. He also starved me for 5 months because when he claimed me and I moved to the compound at age 18, he said I was fat, ugly, defiled, and was unclean, and I needed to be cleansed. So he put me on a diet or a cleanse, but basically it was a 5-month starvation, where eventually the only reason why the starvation ended was because I passed out as my organs were shutting down. And the diet or cleanse included a gallon of Tang a day, and that was it. No food, no other liquid, just Tang. So lots of abuse at the hands of Cult Man, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, verbal. But I also experienced a lot of sexual abuse starting at age 8. So I had a lot of healing to do when I finally got the courage to escape the group when I was at almost 26 years old. Finally got the courage to escape because I had found my sister on the internet and found that she was pregnant. And we started chatting, and that was the light switch for me. That was my light switch moment that said, there's got to be more to life than how I'm living and what I'm doing. And because at the time I was working at one of the cult-owned businesses, and it just was, I wasn't living at all. Let's just be honest. I was merely surviving. And so when I heard that my younger sister was having a baby, there was something that switched in my mind, in my heart, in my thoughts. And I said, I have to get home to be with her. I have to get home. I can't allow her to go through this pregnancy without me. Growing up in the cult, we did not have extended family. We weren't allowed to have relationships with extended family. So I knew what it was like to grow up without having your cousins, having your aunts and uncles, having your grandparents. I knew all of those feelings, and I didn't want this next generation to feel the same way. I don't know why I knew that, but I knew that it was important for me to be part of this child's life, my sister's baby's life. And that was the light switch moment that said, no, I'm ready to make a different choice for my life.
Thank you for watching Prospera TV Network. We hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I knew what it was like to grow up without having your cousins, having your aunts and uncles, having your grandparents. I knew all of those feelings, and I didn't want this next generation to feel the same way. I don't know why I knew that, but I knew that it was important for me to be part of this child's life, my sister's baby's life. And that was the light switch moment that said, no, I'm ready to make a different choice for my life. But I'm going to have to fight for my life first. And so I will tell my escape story on a different episode, but I did escape finally, and I did make it back to North Carolina to be with my sister while she was pregnant. And she did deliver a beautiful baby girl who's now 19 years old. And I still call her my reason, because she was the reason that I found the courage to finally say, enough is enough. I'm going to reclaim my life. But what I didn't realize at that time, yes, I was making a choice for my sister, for my unborn niece. I wasn't making a decision for me. I didn't have any self-love. I didn't have any self-awareness. I didn't have any self-worth. I was unable to make a decision for myself. I was only making a decision for my sister and for my niece. So I'm grateful that I was able to find the strength to do that. But what I now understand is because I had no self-worth, no self-love, no self-awareness, no self anything, I was in for a roller coaster of a life. And I would have to um, I would have to learn a lot of things just to merely survive in the outside world. See, at 26 years of age, I should have had some adult tools. I should have been able to navigate life by myself on the outside. But remember, I was in a cult where I was isolated, where everything was controlled. What I ate, where I slept, when I took a shower, when I went to the bathroom, what I wore, everything was controlled. And so I didn't know how to think on my own. I didn't know how to make decisions on my own. So at 26 years of age, when I'm trying to navigate this big, wide, crazy world that I know nothing about, I only have childlike tools. I'm stuck in a child mentality because I'm not equipped with anything that I should have been to be making adult decisions. But the one thing that was in my favor is that I had a work ethic. I knew how to work. And so that had been ingrained in me through the cult and also through my dad and my mom. My mom and dad were both hard workers, and so I knew how to work. My dad had owned his own business my entire life. And so I had seen the long hours and the sacrifice that he made to put bread on our table. So I knew how to work, knew how to work. So as soon as I could, I got a job, and I just started working and just tried to start numbing. And when you run from something or run away from something, there's two things that happen. You either know that it's going to follow you and you'll have to address it, or you try to compartmentalize it and you try to leave it in the past, and you say, I'm going to lock it up there, tight as tight, and I'm going to throw away the key, and I'm just going to leave it there, and I'm going to start my new life, and I'm moving on from here. And that was my mentality. I had no understanding that all of the things that happened to me those first 26 years of my life would eventually catch up to me and would eventually have to be reconciled. So for today's episode, I ran, locked everything away in the past, said, I'm never going to remember this. I'm never going to talk about this. I'm never going to address this. I never want to think about this again. It's too painful. It's too ugly. And I'm just moving on. And then fast forward, I equipped with childlike tools, don't know how to navigate life, but I have a job, I'm working really hard, and then life starts to happen, and life starts imploding, and life starts unraveling, and the reconciling begins, where I realize that I have to take inventory of my life, and I have to figure out how to deal with my past so that I don't ruin my future. And so, fast forward, I get married, and I am really uh, doing well in my work life. I'm excelling, and I every day just show up and I paint on that beautiful fake smile, and I step into this cartoon character of my life, and I just full fake positivity, but all on, just, every single day. While at home, I'm absolutely falling apart, and I'm basically torturing my husband with my antics. I create chaos everywhere that I go. I'm a chronological liar. I don't know how to be truthful. I don't know how to be honest. All symptoms of my past, but I don't realize that yet. I'm also starting to have nightmares and night terrors, and I'm sleepwalking and sleep talking and sleep fighting. And my husband feels helpless. My husband feels like, what have I signed up for? But to his credit, he was extremely loving, caring, kind, compassionate, and patient. And for that, I am forever grateful. But it would take a few years of this kind of hell before I would really realize that I needed help, and I needed help now. Um, and eventually, I would get to a point where my physical body had began manifesting in a very defined way, that my physical trauma was catching up to me, and it was an outward manifestation through my physical body. And what I mean by that is I started having severe migraines and neck pain and back pain and gastrointestinal issues, um, and fibromyalgia. I was given all these different diagnoses by all these different doctors that I kept going to, and I knew there was something wrong, but had no idea that it was just my trauma trying to get my attention. So in Western medicine, I was called, I was given fibromyalgia and PTSD and complex PTSD, and cognitive impairment, and migraines, and uh, back pain, neck pain, all these. I was just given one diagnosis after another, but there was no pill to fix the pain that my physical body was in, because it was all tied back to my trauma. So eventually, I was in a continuing education class where I learned that the body keeps the score, and trauma is stored on a cellular level in your body. And that was the bells and whistles that I needed to understand that what I was experiencing had nothing to do with my physical body breaking down, but it was actually a manifestation of an inward issue, of a trauma issue. And so I had to go inward and upward to start healing that trauma in order to step into, addressing the issues of my own body, mind, and spirit, and starting my healing journey. So that's a very acorn nutshell type of intro of who I am, what my mission and vision is for this show. And we'll get into more of my healing journey over the next episodes. But I'm just so excited to be on this channel and to get to share not only my testimony and all that God is doing in my life, but also to bring other battle angels stories, and learn from them, learn what has worked for them, learn their testimony and how they're overcoming, and what they're doing with their their passion turning into their or their pain turning into their passion, and their mess their message. I can't wait to hear other people's stories. So stay tuned for the next episode next Thursday, and we'll be here every week. So thank you so much for being here today, and I can't wait for our next episode. So in the meantime, let glory shine and know that your glory comes from within.
Let glory shine from the ashes I rise. Every scar a story, every tear baptized. This is my freedom, this is my climb. Let glory shine, it's the power inside. This is your Prospera era, where dreams align with grace, abundance flows like rivers. You've stepped into your place. Rise, reign, and remember, you were born to shine. Welcome to your moment, Prospera, it's time. We hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV Network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez.